Hello, well, Alina again. I'm very glad to be back this time with warm-ups part 2, as I promised. Before going into our warm-ups, I would like to say thank you because I received lots of comments, beautiful, positive, encouraging comments. So I am even more motivated than before. So now I am planning a part 3 and a part 4. Let me tell you that part 3 will be probably connected to storytelling, and part 4 will be probably connected with how to exploit grammar and vocabulary through games. Okay, so let's cut all this chit chat and let's go to our business, which is the presentation of 5 interesting, amusing, and engaging warm-ups. These warm-ups have something in common. They all encourage students to think quickly. This is a skill that I believe we all need. Beyond our lessons, it's a necessary skill for our lives. The capacity to react to the unexpected, the capacity to come up with something as a solution for a problem. In this case, there's the challenge of doing it in English. So that's why I call all these activities like think outside the box activities. Some of them involve movement, some of them involve thinking quickly, reacting quickly, and some others involve a little bit of acting. All right, so the first one, warm-up number 1, it is called the Northwind Blues. And what's the procedure? You explain students that they have to stand up and that they have to make a movement, which is raise their hands and duck out of the screen quickly, one after the other. So we say 1, 2, 3, and you disappear from the screen. You train them to do this a couple of times. They will love it, especially kids. They love moving. Teenagers, well, may be a little bit reluctant, but you have to kind of force them to do it. Now, once they are standing up and they have mastered the movement, you explain the idea of the game. You will say something like this: the north wind blows for all those people who have brown eyes. If this is true to you, you have to raise your hands and duck out of the screen. The last person to do it is the person that, let's say, loses the game. Now you, as a teacher, you're going to be monitoring all the little screens and you will see who the last person was. In case of little kids, they might find it funny to, this kind of, I usually go like, oh no, Feather, you were the last one. Oh, they love that. They start laughing. And so you go over different categories. So you say, oh, ready for number 2? Yes, good. Attention. The north wind blows for all those people who don't have a shower every day. So you raise your hands and you duck out of the screen if this is true to you. This is what students have to do. After you have done that a couple of times, then you give students time to create their own sentences. Yes, maybe just 30 seconds to write the sentence down. In this case, you can work on random sentences or you can guide them if you're working on a certain grammar area. For example, if you're dealing with likes and dislikes, then you tell them that all the sentences should contain the structure. So the north wind blows for all those people who like eating muffins. The north wind blows for all those people who hate football. And so you work with likes and dislikes. If you're dealing with, a physical description, then you guide students and ask them to work on that area. The north wind blows for all those people who wear glasses. The north wind blows for all those people who have light blue eyes. Okay? So, difficult items on a physical description. And you can do that with simple present for routines, such as the example I provided before. The north wind blows for people who wake up at 7 every day. The north wind blows for people who never eat broccoli. And so you use adverbs of frequency and routines. Yes, so that's another possibility to exploit this warm-up. It's very fun and they love moving, so they will be very much engaged. Again, try it. It's a successful warm-up. Good. Let's pass on to warm-up number 2. Warm-up number 2, I don't know how to call it. I call it the emotional tongue twister. Oh, because I usually work with tongue twisters in my lessons. I love them. In this particular case, I selected short tongue twisters. Why? Because there's a twist connected to emotions. I have a couple of them, for example, this one, 66 Sick Chicks, something short and easy, or this one, double bubblegum bubbles double, or this one, the sun shines on shop signs. All right, so try to choose something short. And before going into the activity itself, I wanted to help students practice and give them some time. What I usually do is I go with different speeds. Usually I kind of beat the tempo, and imagine that this is the one we chose. So I say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The sun shines on shop signs. The sun shines on shop signs. A couple of times. Then I double the speed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The sun shines on shop signs. The sun shines on shop signs. The sun shines on shop signs. And then I go even faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The sun shines on shop signs. The sun shines on shop signs. The sun shines on shop signs. What you can do is a number of things. Well, number 1, change the speed. Number 2, divide it into 2 groups. Number 3, boys versus girls. Number 4, individual volunteers. Number 5, you choose 2 volunteers and they have to say 1 word each, like the sun shines on shop signs. Faster, the sun shines on shop signs. After they have mastered the tongue twister, then you pass into the emotion activity. In this particular case, I prepared these dice. I just recycled a box from a perfume. Interesting tip: do not ever throw away boxes. They are very useful. And I just covered up with sellotape, and then I stuck some different emotions. The good thing about this resource is that these things are removable. So I may just remove these things and then stick something new and use it with another area. Instead of emotions, I can write down whatever I want. So this is a renewable resource, and that's very interesting. In this case, I wrote scared, guilty, in love, and evil, and then angry, and then confident. Of course, you have the possibility to write down adjectives, or you can write them in adverbs, like confidently, angrily, guiltily, etc., etc. In this case, I chose adjectives because I thought it is easier. What are you going to do? Well, first you demonstrate. Teachers always demonstrate first. This is a way to show students that you always have fun playing. You also have fun playing games. It's not just you watching them. It's you being involved with them. And that makes a difference, a big one. So don't be afraid of being ridiculous, because you are allowing them to be ridiculous themselves. Okay? So what's the idea? Let me change this. So you're going to throw the dice. Yes? Oh, I call this option the evil option, which means that the volunteer, or in this case you first, you have to say this tongue twister in an evil manner. Tell students that they should take the time they need to fully understand how to say this. All right, so the sun shines on shop signs. That's my version of evil. Now, they have different versions. Yes, you can throw the dice again. I got this one scared, so I have to show how to do the tongue twister in a scared manner. So you go like, the sun shines on shop signs. So you do it in a scared manner. Now, then it's their students' turn. Well, you have different ways. It would be you throwing the dice, yes, and then showing what you got in the camera, or you may have like their own dices, yes, and you can write numbers here, like 1, 2, 3, and so they throw their dice, and depending on what number they got, then you check the feeling, yes, and so they have to do it. This is also interesting. It's fun, and there are many things you can do. As I said before, you can change that and write other things apart from adverbs. For example, instead of writing the emotions, I can write situations like on top of a windy mountain. And so you have to say this as if you were standing up on top of a windy mountain. This involves acting, okay? And it's fun and it's interesting. Or standing up in front of a wild lion. You have to say this as if you had a wild lion in front of you. Or, I don't know, cheating at an exam. And so you have to say this as if you were passing an answer to a partner during an exam. Okay, so there are many things you can do, and it's also very interesting. Now, that was warm-up number 2. Warm-up number 3. Warm-up number 3 also involves movement. Is the stand up and sit down. That's the name of the activity. You can do this at the beginning of a session, like as a warm-up, to check how students are feeling in that moment. Or you can use this activity at the beginning of the year when you don't know your students yet, and so you need to know more about their preferences and their likes and their styles and personalities. But it tells a lot about their mood too. Everything is presented in a binary system, typical binary combinations like black and white, or day and night, or dogs and cats. What you have to tell them is like they have to take sides on one of the two. Usually kids will do it without questioning anything. Probably teenagers will start questioning things like, well, that depends. Some days I like black and some days I feel like white. Well, you tell them that there's no room for questioning, that this is an impulsive thing. They have to react physically quickly. First option, if they go for number 1, they have to stand up. If they go for number 2, they remain sitting on the chairs. So, for example, if I say, question number 1, are you team day or night? I clearly stand up because I am team day. If you are team night, then you remain on the chair. 2, are you team dogs or cats? I stand up again because I am team dogs, not cats. Yes? 3, and the ones that were standing up have to sit down. You say, thank you, sit down. 3, are you team rap or reggaeton? And I stand up again because I am team rap. You say, thank you, sit down. Everyone sit down. Well, you do that a couple of times. You can also give the chance to students to think of their own binary questions, and then you ask for volunteers to ask the questions. And then an interesting follow-up activity, because this could be just a warm-up. This can also be used at any time in a lesson. You don't have to just use it at the beginning. Maybe you can use it just to change the mood. After having, having worked on a reading, students are like kind of sleepy and they need to renew their energies. So suddenly you come up with a stand-up, sit-down activity just because. All right, and you just make them move, and believe me, moving makes movement changes the energy immediately, and they wake up. If they were a little bit sleepy, they will wake up. Now, an interesting follow-up activity that you can especially use with teenagers and adults, why not, is like an oral. You turn this into an oral activity, and so you can go into deeper layers. For example, if you say like, are you team present or team future? And you can discuss that. Okay, maybe people that are more connected with present will say like people that enjoy their life, the present moment. Whereas people that are more connected with the future thing might tend to be more anxious and worry about things. So you may go deeper into that. Why did you choose that and not the other option? Or, I don't know, are you team winter or team summer? Now, this may lead to further discussions, and it could be an interesting way to trigger off an oral activity. Yes, well, that was warm-up number 3. Now, warm-up number 4. And let's try to speed up, because this is too long. Okay, this is called made-up definitions. Okay, we have 2 ways to do it, or maybe more, but I will present 2. I ask students to write down a word, yes, on a piece of paper. So all students write down a word. The word has to be a noun. This is the condition. Could be a profession, could be an object, could be a noun, could be plural or singular. They have to write it down. Then, randomly, it just mentioned 2 names. So let's say, Wada, show your word. And Wada shows her word. And then it said, Agus, show your word. And then Agus shows his word, star. And so then, Agus and Wada, they have to combine these 2 words, yes, and come up with an invented definition. For example, it was star and books. Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks is the name for a new brand of coffee shops where you can go, taste the most delicious coffee ever, and apart from that, you are given books to read while you are having your coffee. Okay, so that's my definition for Starbucks. The idea is to encourage creativity. Yes, if you say Starbucks is the book about stars, I don't see much creativity in that definition. You see what I mean? So you should encourage students to think outside the box again and go beyond their own limits. Okay, do not choose the first thing that comes to your mind. Explore your creativity. You can do it like spontaneously if they have some training, or you can give them some time to think and write down the definition. You can turn this into a competition in which you rate their creativity. Yes, so you can, then be the judge of their creativity. It's not very nice to be a judge, but in some cases or in some groups, they may work as a more motivation. An extra thing that I do with this activity, and it works beautifully with kids, especially primary kids, I did this in kindergarten and it worked wonderfully, is this. You know what this is, right? Yes. I guess that you have all played with one of these things when you were a little kid. It's called a paper fortune teller. Yeah. So, you ask a student through the Zoom, Fede, choose one color. Red. And so you say R-E-D. Okay, Fede, choose a number. He says, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Choose another number. And he goes with a 4. And so I open up and see what word I have in 4. Oh, hammer. So word number 1 is hammer. Then I go with volunteer number 2. Wada, choose a color. Yellow. Okay, Y-E-L-L-O-W. Wada, choose a number. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another number. 7. So I check what word you have in 7, and you have eyes. And so the new word is hammer eyes, or ice hammer. They have to come up with an invented definition for hammer eyes, or ice hammer. And again, you will be kind of encouraging them to go beyond their limitations and be as creative as possible. So this is an extra thing. It's like 2 games inside one, but this motivates students a lot. That's why I always try to use some props in the lesson, such as the dice or this, because this is an extra thing. It gives it creates more interest, and it catches their attention, and they can even make their own paper fortune teller at home. There are many tutorials in YouTube, and I think that kids, as from 8 years old onwards, they will be able to do these things or make these things on their own, and they can play at home, yes, or they can play with their friends. And then of course you can use this resource same as this, with the removable names or labels. You can use this same thing for other activities, yes, for revision of vocabulary. So maybe you write down words or phrasal verbs or whatever you are dealing with, and depending on which word they get, they have to provide a definition. So interesting resource. Believe me, try. I've tested this. Good. Warm-up number 5, and this is the last one. I'm sorry, my videos are so long. Okay, the name of this last warm-up is 5 Things. It's a traditional game used in theater. It helps students to, again, react quickly, react on the spot without time to think. It's fun. There's this kind of feeling of nervousness, like, oh, I have to say something, I don't know what to say. Before playing the game, you have to teach them a very simple chant that goes like this. Listen. 5 things. 5 things, 5 things, 5 things, 5 things. And so then you say someone's name, I don't know, Philip. 5, and all the class go with the chant. 5 things, 5 things, 5 things, 5 things, 5 things. Fede, 5 things you would do during an earthquake. And so Fede says, shout. And the whole class says, 1. And then Fede says, run. And the whole class says, 2. And then Fede goes like, pick up my savings for my money box. 3. Make a phone call and say to my mom that I love her. 4. Pick up my dog and take the dog out of the house. 5. And all the class. 5 things. 5 things, 5 things, 5 things, 5 things. You teacher, say someone else's names. Cande. 5 things that you would say to your teacher when you haven't done your homework. And Candela goes, I didn't have Wi-Fi at home. 1, I did my homework, my dog beat it. 2, I couldn't find the book, so I couldn't do my homework. 3, I was about to do it, but I had an appointment with the dentist. 4, I did it, but then I lost it. 5. So this is the idea of this activity. Again, it's just to force students to react quickly, to have fun. It involves more people because of the 5 things chant, which is like very, very encouraging. Again, creativity is one of the main assets. You want students to be creative. You want students to be fast thinkers. That's why we're doing this. And you can change, the 5 things could be 5 names or 5 places or 5 rules or 5 objects. All right, so that depends on what category. Again, you can give students the chance to come up with their own 5 things categories. They will love it. Well, I'm sorry about the length of my videos. I speak too much. But again, I have many ideas in my mind. I hope you also find this video hopeful and not useful. And again, I'm waiting for comments, yes? And I'm already working on video part 3 about storytelling. Bye. See you. Thank you very much.